is my anatomy assignment 3 resub. Blood vessels. The blood vessels consist of arteries, which are here, arterioles, which are here, capillaries, venules, and veins. All blood is carried in these vessels. The arteries, which are strong, flexible, and resilient, carry blood away from the heart and consist of the highest blood pressure. The arteries branch into smaller and smaller vessels, eventually becoming very small vessels called arterioles. Arteries have muscular walls and can adjust their diameter to increase or decrease blood flow to a particular part of the body. Arteries have narrow lumens, as you can see in this diagram here, and high blood pressure, and there's a high blood pressure within the artery, as I've stated. So the next vessel are the arterioles. Arterioles are a vessel that branch from the arteries. The arterioles are under the control of the sympathetic nervous system. The main function of the arterioles is to transport blood from the arteries to the capillaries, and secondly, they help regulate blood pressure and blood flow. So the next one is next vessel is the capillaries here. Capillaries are tiny, with very thin walled vessels which carry blood away from the heart. The thin walls of the capillaries allow oxygen and nutrients to pass from the blood into tissues and allow waste products to pass from tissues into the blood. So they help get rid of waste products and help transport oxygen nutrients to our muscles and to the tissues that need. The next one is venules. So blood from the capillaries flow into very small veins called venules, then into veins that lead back to the heart. Venules are extremely small vessels that transport blood from the capillaries to the veins. Lots of venules bunched together form a vein. The function of the venules is to drain blood from the capillaries and return it back to the heart. So basically, lots of venules that are bunched together will form one vein. Final one is veins. The wall of veins consists of 3 main layers. Within the vein there are valves which aid the return of blood to the heart by preventing the blood from travelling in the reverse direction. The main function of the veins is to transport deoxygenated blood back to the heart, except for the pulmonary vein, which carries blood from the lungs back to the left atrium. So, function of the blood. There are around 4 main functions of the blood. So the first one is fighting infections. So if a pathogen gets past your first line of defense, the second and main line of defense comes into play. The second line of defense is a white blood cell. If a pathogen enters your immune system, then the white blood cell of your immune system will recognize the pathogen as a foreign antigen. This response will cause white blood cells to release antibodies that will stick to the antigen of the invading pathogen and destroy them. This response will usually take several days before it can fight off the infection completely. The second one is blood clotting. When our blood vessels get damaged, sensors are released that cause tiny bits of our blood to release. These are called platelets. They stick to the walls in the area and each other, changing shape to form a plug that fills the broken part to stop blood from leaking out. The platelets also signal for other clotting factors to help with the clotting. Proteins in your blood called clotting factors signal each other to cause a rapid chain reaction. This results in the clot becoming larger, tougher, and more durable. So as you can see here in this picture, the platelets and blood is sort of forming a plug, and it will place over like where there's a cut to stop any loss of blood. So third is temperature regulation. Another one of blood's main function is to regulate our body temperature. The blood distributes heat throughout the body. When the body temperature is very high, the hypothalamus, which is part of the brain, sends an impulse to the blood vessels for the skin to dilate. The blood vessels then transport water to the sweat glands to produce more sweat, and because the superficial blood vessels are wider, more heat is lost through radiation and conduction. When environmental temperature drops, the blood vessels in the skin constrict to supply less water to the sweat glands, and less heat is lost through the conduction. The radiation, sorry. Okay. So the final one, I haven't got an image for this, but the final one is transportation. Blood transports oxygen from the lungs to the cells of the body where it is needed for metabolism. The carbon dioxide produced during metabolism is carried back to the lungs by the blood, where it is then exhaled and as a waste product. Blood also provides the cells with nutrients, transports hormones, and removes waste products, which the liver, the kidneys, or the intestines, for example, then get rid of. Also transports the plasma proteins, which is used as a clotting factor when vessels get damaged. Structure of the lungs. There are a few structures of the lungs. So, first are the lobes. The lungs are located in the middle of the chest and on either side of the heart. The lungs are divided into lobes. The right side consists of 3 and the left side consists of 2 lobes. The right upper lobe of the lung, also known as the superior lobe, is one of the 3 lobes that make up the right lung. The lung tissue of this lobe is responsible for most of the gas exchange in the right lung during calm, gentle breathing. So basically, this lung is mainly responsible for the gas exchange through calm, gentle breathing. The right lung consists of 3 lobes. The second of these lobes is the middle lobe. This lobe is located between the superior and inferior lobe, as you can see here. The inferior is located at the bottom of the right lobe. All of the lobes have the same function, bringing oxygen to the bloodstream and removing carbon dioxide. The main reason as to why the right lung is separated into 3 lobes is due to the fact that if one of the lobes gets damaged or infected, then the whole lung does not have to shut down, as there will still be 2 functional lobes working. So if, like, the inferior lobe here gets damaged and can no longer function properly, you still have these 2 lobes that will still function properly. The left lung only has 2 lobes. They're the superior and inferior lobes. This is basically to accommodate the heart. So now, go to the pleural membranes. Each lung is surrounded by a pleural membrane. This membrane contains a fluid called the pleural fluid, which helps to lubricate the lungs when they expand and contract. The pleural membrane's main function is to reduce friction and keep the lungs airtight. This is because if you breathe in and you are losing air, then you are not going to be able to send enough oxygen around the body efficiently. Within the pleural membrane lies the first layer of the lungs. This is known as the visceral pleura. The main function of the visceral pleura is that it gives a smooth, slippery surface to the lungs and allows it to move freely in the partial pleura. So as you can see here, there's pleural membranes. Pleural membrane goes around the whole of the lung. So now, the pleural fluid. The pleural membrane function. The pleural cavity is filled with a small amount of serous fluid, which forms a thin film of liquid between the pleural layers. This is vital in that it prevents separation of the 2 pleural layers and lubricates the surface, so the lungs can move easily within the thorax. So basically, this fluid here helps reduce the friction and helps the lungs to move more freely. Finally, the thorax cavity. The thorax cavity can only be is also known as the chest cavity as it is located in the chest region. A thorax cavity is enclosed by the ribs, vertebrae column, and the sternum. It contains the lungs, the middle and lower airways, heart, the vessels transporting blood between heart and lungs, the large arteries bringing blood from the heart out into the circulation, and the major veins into which the blood is collected for transfer back to the heart. So, breathing control. So there are two types of breathing control. There's chemical control and there's neural control. So I'll go through chemical control first. It's diagrams for chemical control. This chemical control, this type of breathing control is controlled by chemoreceptors. These are sensory extensions which are connected to the blood vessels which detect changes in chemical contractions. As we produce a byproduct called carbon dioxide, this causes chemical control due to the fact that if the levels of CO2 are high, then the chemical control is more likely to be high. So basically, chemical control is basically functioning without you knowing. You're not really controlling it. The second one is neural control. Neural control is when you control breathing your own. So as you can see here, question mark is you're thinking your own breathing. You do your breathing yourself. So you choose when you breathe in, when you breathe out. Lung volume. Lung volume is the amount of air the lungs can hold at any period of time. This is usually measured as a percentage, and is very similar to lung capacity. The average total lung capacity of an adult human is around about 6 liters of air, but only a small amount of this is used during normal breathing. There's also something called vital capacity. Vital capacity is the maximum amount of air a person can expel from the lungs after maximum inhalation. An increased vital capacity benefits an athlete because it gives him more stamina. Individuals are capable of pushing themselves longer and harder because of breathing has expanded. So, lung volume, basically how much air your lungs can take when you breathe in, and vital capacity is basically how much air you breathe out once you breathe it in. So.